Well, good morning. 6:20 a.m. down at a place called Paddy's Wharf, about an hour north of Sydney, and it's this fantastic little oyster farm sort of on Brisbane Water, and it has this jetty. Now this jetty was ruined in a storm a couple of years ago, so we won't be going out on the jetty, but there's a boat that's sort of sitting on its side, and then you've got the jetty itself. Sunrise is in about 40 minutes, so I'm just about to get set up. So we're going to get the camera gear out and we'll give it a go, see how we go. Well, I got myself a composition, and I've got to say I'm pretty happy with the colour that's starting to come out. It is 6:34, so we've got about 30 minutes before sunrise, and I've put the tilt shift lens on, and what I'm doing is I'm doing full manual exposure, because with the tilt shift, if you do use a tilt shift for panoramics, which is what I use them for, or anything really, the best thing to do is get some metering off a shot. So if you want to, you put it into something like auto mode, and right now it is metering off of the center setting on the tilt shift, and it's telling me F9 at 2.5 seconds is going to be properly exposed. So I can then go to manual mode and dial in F9 at 2.5 seconds, and then shift the lens. Because what happens is when you shift the lens, you lose a little bit of light. There's some light fall off, and that's because the lens is shifting inside. Now that is pretty good. It's a bit underexposed, I think, so I'm going to bring it back up to 4 seconds, but it gives you a good idea from a starting point as to what to do. And you know, it is a bit of playing around. One of the disadvantages of one of these lenses is I can't put the circular polarizing filter on, because so if you put a circular polarizing filter onto a tilt shift lens while you're using it for panoramics, you'll get lines where you try and join them together, which doesn't work at all. It doesn't look good at all. So you can't use it, unfortunately, very easily. You can, but there's a risk, right? So I don't even bother. And I'm just trying to capture this light, because right now it's pretty magical out there. I'll show you, it's pretty good. As you can see, we're starting to see some nice colour from this sunrise. We're about 25 minutes of a sunrise, but some beautiful colour. The reality is for us here in Sydney is we have had some shocking weather over the last couple of weeks, so it's nice to see that today we haven't got a sky full of ugly weather, because normally that's what we've had. We've had a heap of clouds and stuff, and today that's not happening, which is good. I tell you what, this is a marvellous morning. I'm getting some crackers here with this lens on. I'm just now rushing a bit, because if I don't, I'm just not going to capture the light, and I think I've just managed to do that without any clipping. Yeah, no, there's some highlights clipped there. Okay, so we're going to have to bring it down even further. So I'm at 2.5 seconds, and the challenge I'm having now is that I'm not going to get that longer exposure. So I'm going to 1 second now, and 1 second looks nice. Oh yeah, some nice colour in the sky right now. So I can't show you at the moment because I'm getting the shots, but it's beautiful. All right, so I'll show you shortly what I'm up to. But yeah, I just can't stop right now. The light right now is magical, and if you know anything about landscape photography, the light is very fickle and can change very quickly. All right, let's stick another lens on. I'm going to go to the 70 to 200, and the reason I'm going to do that, I'm going to switch over to the 70 to 200 because I want to zoom in a bit closer on the shed and this boat. Oh yeah, that's going to be nice. Need to go to 70 mil. Just put the lens hood on because I'm sort of underneath some street lights, and I don't want any of the glare sort of getting in there. I'm not really sure how this is going to go, to be honest with you. There is one ugly sort of boat right in front of me that's sort of stopping the shot from being really nice. I don't know, I think it might work. I'm not completely convinced actually, now that I've done that. You know what, let's get the polarizer on, see if we can't make it look a bit better. All right, we've got the polarizer on. I'm gonna give that a bit of a twirl. Yeah, because I'm shooting, polarizers don't work that well when you're shooting into the sun. But anyway, let's see. Yeah, now we're back. Well, we've got a polarizer on there. Because the polarizer stops some of the light coming into the lens, I'm going to take it up to 3 seconds. and see what happens. The colour's not as nice now, believe it or not, as what it was. It's not doing it for me. So I'm going to get rid of that and do something else. Sometimes you just got to try different things, but that's not doing it for me. I'm going to go back to wide because I think I'm missing out on too much of the light of the beautiful colour by using this zoom lens. So I'm going to switch over and see. Having said that, before I do that, I'm going to try and just capture this boat. Oh, it's not working. No, I'm going to switch over. So, you know, sometimes all good plans laid out. What's that saying? I don't know. The best plans are not the best plans or some rubbish. Anyway, I'm going to switch out and put another lens on.
I've heard a story, I've heard it said, I've come to believe that love is a bet. Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, and sometimes it calls you right in the move. Come to my table, come to my bed, go easy my hunger, easy my head, bringing me fire, bringing me water, taking me high, taking me down. Give me your pretty, give me your messy, give me your happy, give me your sad. I may be staying, I may be going, I may be left, I may fall apart. Come to my table, come to my bed, go easy my hunger, easy my head, bringing me fire, bringing me water, taking me high, taking me down.
Right, so I'm going to talk you through my composition because the light sort of right now settled down a bit. The best light was sort of 40 minutes before sunrise, which is just another great lesson as a landscape photographer that sometimes the light that you want is going to be much earlier than the actual sunrise time itself, so you've got to get up early. So we've got this beautiful wharf here. Unfortunately, it got battered by a storm at some stage and there's not much of it left. And then, as you can see, there's a nice shed out there, which is like I think it's part of the oyster farm or something. It's called Paddy's, it was called Paddy's Oyster. Something. It looks like it's now Witten's Organic Oyster Farms. And there's a whole bunch of oyster leases way out here, hard to see. And then we've got this boat here with the reflection in the lake. So using the tilt shift lens, what I'm doing is I'm getting a panoramic image. So if I show you how that works, so you sort of take one shot to the left like that, and then you move the lens all the way to the right and take a shot like that. And then later on I'll join them together.
Come to my table, come to my bed, go easy my hunger, easy my head, oh, bringing me fire, bringing me water, taking me high, taking me down.
Still about 12 minutes before sunrise, so I'm not sure what other light we're going to get, but it's looking pretty cool. Let me just show you. It's a really good spot. What's a shame is that this jetty here, has unfortunately succumbed to some bad stormy weather. Right now I wouldn't even walk out on that jetty. It looks very unsafe. I don't even feel safe standing on the first board. You can see that you get about halfway and then it just disappears. The whole jetty is dead. We're about 10 minutes before sunrise now, and there's a bit of new colour just turning up on some of the clouds right at the back. So I'm going to try and take a couple more shots with my tilt shift lens. So a couple more panoramics, and then I think what I'll do is I'll switch out to the, I'm going to switch out to the wide angle, the 16 to 35. Just had to put some Bushmans on because the bloody mozzies are biting me. If you remember, about a month ago or so, no, 6 weeks or so when I was down south, those mozzies were going to carry me away. They love me for some reason. All right, I'm going to shift lenses now. I'm going to go to the wide angle lens. So I've got the 16 to 35mm f4. The good thing with this is I can stick the polarizer on it, which I will do. So we'll get the polarizer on. The polarizer just reduces the reflections in the water. Doesn't always work shooting into the sun. It's not meant to work that well. Well, we're about 4 minutes off a sunrise, and you know what? I think I caught the best light earlier, and that's, like I said, it pays to be here early. But I'm going to wait it out because you just don't know. I mean, the sun hasn't come up yet, but even that little bit of colour that was reflecting off the clouds has disappeared. Now it's just a very washed out sort of light, a salmon-y colour. Still, it's a nice colour, but not something that I'm going to get too excited about. I'll grab a couple of shots anyway with this wide angle lens. I'm probably just going to crop these into a panoramic shot because I've got some pretty uninteresting stuff right in front of me. An old boat full of water and some weed, and then the sky is not super exciting. 3 minutes till sunrise. 3 minutes till sunrise. There are, I don't know, probably 300 galahs around me right now. They're probably thinking I'm a galah as well, so they're just joining me. The sun is about to come over the top of the horizon, which means that because of the clear sky, it's going to be very intense. I don't think I could have picked a busier spot to do some photography this morning. There's trucks, there's cars, there's push bikes, there's joggers, and now galahs, pelicans. It's all happening right here. It was 7:10, and the sun is now just about to poke over the top of the mountains there, so we're not going to be able to do much more photography. I've got it on aperture priority, so that way the camera works out the best shutter speed now, rather than me having to do it. And I've got it on matrix meeting or evaluative, I can't even say it, evaluative? I don't know, evaluate? In the Nikon it's called matrix meeting, in Canon I think they call it evaluative or something like that. But anyway, it's the one that meters the entire scene and averages the light out, so it takes the shutter speed that's probably best. Absolutely amazing sunrise. It was good. Considering the weather we've had in Sydney, it was good. Whew, there's that sun right now. That's bright. That's real bright. So just about finished the time lapse I'm doing, and you know, the sun is very, very harsh now, so that's going to be the end of the photography. If you're enjoying these videos, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'd love to hear your comments down below if you've got any thoughts or anything you want to add, any questions you want to ask. I'd love to hear from you. And by the way, if you're on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. Just find me on 3 Legs. Links are in the description below. Or Facebook, same thing. Look for me on Ben Futrell on 3 Legs with the number 3. Thanks for watching.